guys, it's time to Nefis and chill, and as we've been doing for the past couple weeks or so, we're going to be diving a little deeper into the details of the PTS patch notes for the Waking Flame DLC, otherwise known as Update 31. In this video, we'll be talking about the changes to the Prismatic Onslaught weapon enchantment that is coming with Update 31. And there is basically the only reason why they're changing Prismatic Onslaught is because apparently it was going through too many server checks. Apparently there were too many things a server checked for when you used the enchantment, whether it was a performance improvement or not. We just kind of have to, I guess, deal with the results of that. But anyway, a lot of people were understandably upset and also just kind of turned off by the idea of the enchantment. Including myself being one of them, at least in terms of a damage perspective. On the PTS, instead of applying a huge amount of damage to Daedra and Undead, things like Rakat, or even, the Rockgrove hard mode bosses and content from boss 2 and onwards on boss A and so forth. We're not going to be seeing that anymore. I think console players call it the Rakat killer, but yeah, Prismatic Onslaught is going to change for Update 31 after being the same enchantment for quite a while now. And while there are some concerns in regards to certain content, I would say we'll see how that goes. Is it useless or is it going to be useful? In terms of the damage gain, it's obviously not going to be as strong as a fire enchant or a poison enchant, or potentially even a berserk enchant here that offers weapon and spell damage. It still does. They forgot to mention this in the patch notes. It still does magic damage. The base damage is 2,280 at CPU 160 legendary quality. And it also restores 438 health and 177 magicka and stamina. Of course, again, damage-wise, it's probably not as comparable or not as good. There have been other suggestions made by other players that I do agree with. Potentially, if this is meant to be a damage glyph, there could be different ways you could do it. Maybe have all 3 status effects proc from it, but I feel like that would also kind of be overpowered. But in terms of a general overview of the enchantment, whether it's useful or not, I think it's actually more useful than we might suspect or think, because the amount of sustain along with the amount of health that it restores, I would say, is pretty noticeable. I'm aware of some PvPers testing it. I'm also aware of PvE tanks considering it on specific builds. I'm also aware that it's going to definitely have certain applications, maybe, but potentially, depending on your groups, whether it's 4-man or 12-man groups, in regards to sustain. But it's highly unlikely in optimal trial groups we'll see this use, potentially. I may be wrong, but I think that kind of also depends on the sets you're using, things like boss A, stuff like that. But anyway, let's kind of review the values. So on a one-hander infused weapon, the Prismatic Onslaught deals 1482 magic damage and restores 284 health and 115 magicka and stamina in comparison to what's shown here. On an infused two-handed weapon, whether it's a staff or a two-hander, we do see that it deals almost 3,000 magic damage and restores 570 health and 230 magicka and stamina. I think this is a really, really great sustain option for whether it's for PvE or PvP. So just to kind of demonstrate here, let's say you're keeping a wall down, whether you're doing like double eye staves or just a staff with infused. So as you can see, the enchantment is pretty much proccing all the time off the cooldown. on infused. And if you translate this every 4 seconds into your, resource pools, that's actually quite a bit of sustain. That's actually quite a bit of healing too. And I would say this is definitely gonna be something to consider for your tanks or tank builds in the future, or even just general PvP setups that may require more sustain, and so they can allocate more damage. So overall, I think definitely yes, we did lose a lovely damage enchantment, but I think we're also gaining something that we can potentially apply to other facets of the game. But yeah, thanks for Nefas and chilling, guys. Hopefully you learned about the Prismatic from this Prismatic Onslaught change from this video. If you want more information or more things like this in the future, definitely subscribe to the channel, as it also does help us reach more players who may be also interested in this kind of information. If you have any questions about the enchantment, as you can see here, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Otherwise, you can definitely ask questions in the ESO University Discord. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for spending your time to watch the video, and I appreciate you guys. Stay safe and have fun.